I used to be an inside round trimmer. Qualifying time used to be 85 seconds. That's for training purposes to qualify you. I done that job at that plant. Trust me, if you waited 85 seconds, you'd have about 3 pieces come and gone. I'd say you'd probably get a piece every 30 to 45 seconds.
Well, my job is, they said, one of the difficult and heaviest job in the plant, in slaughter. They call it first transfer. I lift the legs, or sometimes they are too low. You have to lift and put the hook every 12 seconds. 5 cows in 1 minute, non-stop. If you make a mistake or something, you did not make the hook, the line will stop. The whole line will stop. 300 person will stop working because of you.
If necessary, you are allowed to stop the line, but then you got like your general foreman and your supervisor all jumping all over your ass going, get this line moving. And it's like you just look at them, yeah, right, come trim yourself.
People weren't allowed to go for bathroom breaks. They'd actually have to work in their own urine. If you objected to the supervisors, you were told to go home.
They suspend you without a reason. They send you home. They do whatever they like. Nobody talk, nobody, if you talk, they fire you.
You couldn't go see your own doctor. They'd tell you to go see the plant nurse. If she felt that it wasn't serious, she'd tell you to go take some ibuprofen and put a pack on your shoulder or on your wrist.
And they are working with pain. Some of them quit.
There was a girl, she was only there about 2 months at the time. All of a sudden, she was just trimming her piece, and the next thing you know, her knife slipped, and boom, cut her right in the bicep. She ended up with like 8 stitches deep.
You see this one? It's a hawk. When I pull it, it break the match, a gloves, 2 gloves last match, and then it caught my finger here.
It's like, yes, there's jobs hand over fist, but like I say, money's not everything. We want respect and dignity.
Back in the 70s, there was an establishment of all the packing houses across Canada were into what they call national bargaining. And that's where a contract was set with the primitives of wages and benefits, and that would flow right across the country. So an individual working in a small town in Saskatchewan would have the same benefits as an individual in Toronto. Unfortunately, in the province of Alberta, with the political climate, they took on the fight of destroying national bargaining, which they did. A lot of strikes ensued in that time. In 1986, at Lakeside Packers, they took a strike.
There was 150 workers in the plant at that time. The strike was into its first week when the chief steward of the plant decided he had to cross the picket line and took some 30 workers with him. And we never recovered from that.
In 92, when the economy was on a downturn, Cargill opened a major beef plant in High River. Now, of course, you got to appreciate that Cargill is a major multinational corporation that basically has more profits than most countries in the world. When they opened the plant, that devastated all our unionized plants because, of course, they started hiring people at $7 as opposed to the people making $15 or $16 an hour. And we had to basically start all over again in regards to negotiating contracts and matter of fact, organizing the plant, in which we did successfully organize the Cargill plant. Iowa Beef competition with Cargill came in and purchased the plant at Lakeside.
IBP puts a ton of money into it, expands the plant to some 2,000 workers. So then it's a matter of trying to figure out how you can organize a plant like that.
We felt at the time it was imperative that we tried to organize Lakeside Packers because, as you can appreciate, Lakeside being a non-unionized place, it was driving wages down what we could try to negotiate in Cargill. So I came down in 97 and I checked into the Heritage Hotel. And I checked in for a week. And my second night there, they came up, knocked on my door, and asked me to leave. They said, we were told that you work for the union, and Lakeside Packers have told us if you don't get out of the hotel, they will not give us any more business. So I moved out of the hotel. Local 401 bought a house. The real estate agent told me the name of a liar. I gave him the papers. I said, I need you to register this house. It was on a Thursday. I'm leaving to go back to Calgary. I was nowhere and the phone rang. Shane, you got to come back to Brooks to the liar's office. I come back to the liar's office and he says to me, I can't put the house in your name. I said, why can't you put the house in your name? He said, I'm the liar for Lakeside. And they told me, they were the only, they were a big player in town. He said, we can't do it. Well, I said, I'll go across the street to another liar. He said, nobody in town will touch your house. And believe it or not, I had to bring the papers to Calgary to get the house put in my name. I move into the house and I want to open up an office. I'm going to service that plant just like it's unionized. If you get hurt, you come to the house and I will represent you. The first day I open the office, first day they show up, the city does, and closes me. Day one, I get a fine and I got to appear over at City Hall. And during the course of this, I meet with the mayor and all the councillors, and I give them the song and dance that if we had a union here, the 200 people a month that are leaving may stay. And if we got a union and got the workforce stabilized, we may be able to sell some houses. They may buy some cars. They may do a lot of things for the community. So at the end of the thing, they said to me, you're still not getting a license. I just stood up in the meeting and said, quite honestly, I couldn't give a fuck what you does. I'm not fucking leaving. And you can send me a fucking ticket every fucking day till fucking eternity fucking freezes over. I ain't fucking leaving. I'm here. I got the backing of the UFCW International Union. Fuck off. And I left. And I wasn't out of there 20 seconds. And because I went there with papers from my lawyer. My lawyer phones me and says, you went in there, man, like whatever chance we had of getting a license, you ain't getting it. I said, the fuckers weren't giving us a license anyway. Fuck them. I said, $250 a day is price of doing business. It's the price of doing business. And believe it or not, the end of the week, I got a license. This company was still run by the previous owners, which still had the remnants of the strike and were very anti-union. Inside the plant, there was briberies, there was all types of issues in regards to people slamming the doors in our faces and saying the unions were run by the communists.
At one time, I had 38 organizers here. So the first time around, I got about 600 cards, and I needed to get around 1,200. And I'd get up to 600 cards, and that's as far as I could get, because I couldn't find out who they were.
What we had to do, because this was one of the biggest organizing campaigns in Canadian history, we virtually had to go door to door and knock on every door in the town of Brooks and just ask people if they worked at Lakeside so we could sit down and talk to them.
My organizers took a lot of heat knocking at the door. If I had to leave this town the first time I was threatened, I would have been gone a long time ago. The phone calls used to come to that house were crazy. They say, Newfie, we don't want your union. Get the fuck out of town. Newfie, we're coming down tonight, 3 of us.
In 2000, we were successful in getting enough for a vote. Prior to the vote, the company showed a video in the plant to the workers and captive audience meetings that showed people being beaten on the picket line with chains and bloody, and literally scared the people into what we believe would be voting no for the union. We went to the Labour Board. The Labour Board ordered that we be allowed to have meetings in the plant. That turned into a disgrace. As a matter of fact, Dennis Bukowski, who is the director of the Labour Board, said it was the first day he's ever been ashamed to be a Canadian. Swearing and pop cans being thrown, eggs being thrown at us trying to speak. We lost the vote. Surprise, surprise.
They had an anti-union rally at the end of the vote. They won. They came down and circled our house, and wasn't all that sweet. You know, it wasn't very sweet. And these were white, mostly white Albertans that did not want that union to go in there. They didn't. They fought hard against it. They gave us a good run for our money. And the reception, if it wasn't for the immigrants, there wouldn't be a union. And when it came up to 2004, the major population within that plant was Sudanese or African origin.
One black guy, this is Sudanese from Africa, has a problem with another white guy, and this white guy sprayed 180-degree hot water on this guy's chest. So they didn't fire the white guy who sprayed the hot water. They fired the black guy. So the following morning, I work day shift. The news go around that there is a discrimination here. They are maltreating the black. Then we were telling our friends, today we are not going to work.
The people walk out. So there is a group from his slaughter, 2004, they walk out from work. And when they walk out from work, they decided that this work condition must be changed. All people, they come out, around 400 people on the floor. And they rally. At that time, I act as a mediator. And I say, okay, now I have to go out and talk to these people, and they go back to work. So what do you do for them tomorrow? They say nothing. So let them go back to work and tell them that next week we are going to sit down. They choose 9 people committee, and the 9 people, they went to the company to meet with a manager, and then they fire all these people. When the workers had our committee was fired, they walk out. Then I went to the company. I told them, look guys, you failed to bring these people back. That means I told my people, come back to work, no problem. And then next day, there is a problem. They say, no, business is business. I say, okay, I'm going to call my community too. So you need help from me, but you don't want to help me. Right now, I'm joining union.
We had 80 people get fired to one day. 80 people got fired to one day, and they phone my office and say, okay, we're going to unionize now. And out of those 80 people, we probably had 15 people that were angry, and they got involved.
When the workers were first fired, we took the position that we could do nothing for them other than help them with EI. So we were successful in getting everybody their EI, which really helped us as far as showing to the community that unions do work. And the other thing we did this time was, as opposed to bringing in a whole bunch of people at the beginning, we put 4 people in on the program and said to the community, you know, look, if you want to get organized, you have to do it yourself. This time, we realized we're never going to be successful unless the people really want it. And we told them to think about it for a month to see if they were really interested in it. And so they got back to us and said they were. We put 25 people into the community in 3 weeks, signed up 1,600 people.
Again, we still had to go from door to door. And but this time it was a little different because we had a high population of the Sudanese, and they were instrumental in helping us organize. I had a lot of ammunition then, I had a lot of names, a lot of addresses, a lot of phone numbers, plus I had the experience of going through it a few times.
Over 75% of the community hate union. This company has been existing for so many years before people came here without union. If you know you cannot stay, go out. Why are you bringing union? We don't need union. It was tough for us. There are some houses we go, they bowl on you, they insult you.
It was a campaign that was vicious within the plant. They fired people. We had many labor charges at the board.
They have a reason why they're working in this hard job to serve their family. So I was encouraged a lot of people to vote for union yes.
We had the cards, we made the application, and we won.
We won it by 51.6%.
We won that vote, and then we went into negotiations. At the end of negotiations, we had a strike, brutal strike. At the end of the day, we finally had an offer. We had to vote at the Heritage Hotel, right where it started, many years ago. I can tell you from a personal perspective, being a little boy in Newfoundland, when we counted that vote and we finally had a contract, it was my Stanley Cup. The biggest thing that we've been able to do for the workers in that plant, we gave them a voice. And today, when you get hurt, we make sure you get your sick benefit. We make sure if you're entitled to long-term disability, you'll get it. Short-term disability, you'll get it.
With the union there, at least you have someone that's willing to speak up, and you have someone that's there to back you when you do speak up, so that you're not afraid. I'm not afraid anymore of losing my job, because I know that if I'm in the right, that I will get my job back and they'll look like fools.
Lakeside is not like Lakeside before. Now there's union there, there's fair treatment, there's respect and dignity.